Why the EV industry has a massive supply problem. Imagine a world where the electric vehicle EV industry, poised to revolutionize transportation with its promise of environmental sustainability, is suddenly caught in a web of critical supply shortages and logistical nightmares. A severe supply crisis poses a threat to impede the rapid growth and widespread adoption of electric vehicles, which are becoming increasingly essential for combating climate change and reducing carbon emissions. The path to a more sustainable future is paved with numerous challenges, including the depletion of critical battery materials such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel, as well as outdated infrastructure and geopolitical tensions. This complex web of regulatory uncertainties, high production costs, and supply chain disruptions results in a bottleneck that impedes the industry's capacity to satisfy the increasing demand. Industry stakeholders must confront and resolve these pressing challenges in order to unleash the full potential of electric vehicles and expedite their transition to the mainstream. The pursuit of overcoming these obstacles is not solely about the advancement of technology, it is also about guaranteeing a sustainable future for transportation on a global scale. This video examines 7 primary factors that are responsible for the current supply crisis. 1. Shortages of critical battery components. The scarcity of critical battery components is the fundamental cause of the electric vehicle supply crisis. The majority of electric vehicles are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which are produced with the assistance of nickel, cobalt, and lithium. The demand for these materials has increased significantly as a result of the EV market's rapid expansion, surpassing the present mining and processing capabilities. The demand for lithium, a critical component of battery cells, has been particularly elevated. The extraction and refining of lithium is a resource-intensive and intricate process, and the current production levels have been unable to meet the increasing demand. For instance, lithium prices have experienced a significant increase as a result of supply constraints, which has increased the overall cost of batteries. This price increase has an impact on both manufacturers and consumers, as it results in increased prices for electric vehicles. The Democratic Republic of Congo is the primary source of cobalt, another critical battery material, which is produced through mining. This region is frequently affected by political instability and labor disputes. The supply chain is susceptible to disruptions due to the concentration of cobalt production in a single region. Nickel, which is employed to increase the energy density of batteries, encounters comparable challenges. The increased demand for these metals is not being met by the mining and refining capacity, resulting in a bottleneck in battery production and, as a result, in the production of electric vehicles. 2. Trade barriers and geopolitical tensions. The supply issues in the EV sector have been further exacerbated by geopolitical tensions and trade barriers. Specific regions are the source of a significant number of the materials required for electric vehicle batteries. For instance, the Democratic Republic of Congo is the primary source of cobalt, while Australia is a significant supplier of lithium. These supply lines may be disrupted by political instability, trade restrictions, and regional conflicts, resulting in increased costs and delays. Trade policies have been rendered ambiguous by recent geopolitical tensions between major economies. For example, the global supply chain has been influenced by trade disputes between the United States and China, which have influenced the availability and cost of primary materials. The flow of critical components can be impeded by tariffs, export restrictions, and other trade barriers, which can make it difficult for manufacturers to secure the necessary materials without experiencing delays or inflated prices. Additionally, the supply issues can be further exacerbated by a lack of investment in mining and processing infrastructure in the afflicted regions as a result of trade conflicts. Manufacturers are required to navigate this intricate and frequently unpredictable environment in order to guarantee a consistent supply of essential materials for the production of electric vehicles. 3. Inflationary infrastructure restrictions. The infrastructure necessary for the production and assembly of electric vehicles has not yet been completely developed to accommodate the increasing demand. Numerous manufacturing facilities were initially developed to accommodate internal combustion engine vehicles and are inadequately outfitted to accommodate the unique requirements of electric vehicle production. Significant investment and time are required to upgrade these facilities or construct new ones to facilitate the production of electric vehicles and their components. For example, the production of electric vehicles (EVs) necessitates distinct assembly processes, specialized apparatus, and sophisticated technologies in contrast to conventional vehicle production. Substantial modifications to existing plants or the construction of wholly new facilities are frequently required during the transition to EV production. This infrastructure development necessitates a significant investment of time and resources, which delays the ability to meet market demand. Furthermore, the production of electric vehicle components, including battery packs and electric drivetrains, necessitates specialized equipment and facilities. The capacity of manufacturers to increase production and satisfy the growing demand for electric vehicles may be impeded by the sluggish development of this infrastructure. 4. Disruptions to the supply chain. Numerous factors, including the COVID-19 pandemic, have resulted in substantial disruptions to the global supply chain. The pandemic exposed the vulnerabilities in global supply chains, resulting in delays and deficits in a variety of industries, such as global automotive manufacturing. The supply chain for electric vehicle manufacturers is particularly intricate, encompassing a network of logistics providers and suppliers. Cascading effects can result from disruptions in a single component of the supply chain, resulting in delays in the receipt of materials or components. For instance, the cessation of production lines and the extension of delivery times for finished vehicles may result from transportation bottlenecks or manufacturing facility shutdowns. The pandemic also revealed the excessive dependence on just-in-time manufacturing, which involves the delivery of components as required rather than stockpiling them. Although this method reduces inventory costs, it also increases the supply chain's susceptibility to disruptions. Consequently, manufacturers have encountered difficulties in ensuring a consistent supply of materials and components, which has impeded their capacity to produce and deliver vehicles on schedule. 5. Excessive production costs. The cost of battery technology is the primary factor contributing to the generally higher production costs of electric vehicles in comparison to traditional vehicles. Despite the fact that battery prices have been declining over time, they continue to constitute a substantial portion of the total cost of an electric vehicle (EV). The capacity of manufacturers to increase production and provide competitive pricing is influenced by the high cost of production. Substantial investment is necessary for the development and implementation of advanced battery technologies, including solid-state batteries and new chemistries. The high cost of production is a result of the necessity for specialized manufacturing processes and the costs associated with research and development. Manufacturers are frequently compelled to balance these expenses with the necessity of maintaining a competitive edge in the market, which frequently results in increased prices for consumers. Furthermore, the profitability of electric vehicle manufacturers is influenced by the high production costs. The resources of manufacturers can be strained by the financial burden of developing new technologies and the necessity of investing in the expansion of production. This, in turn, has the potential to impede their capacity to invest in additional innovation and expansion, thereby potentially impeding progress in the EV sector. 6. Challenges in scaling. Scaling up production to satisfy the increasing demand for electric vehicles presents its own set of obstacles. Many manufacturers are required to establish new production lines and plants in addition to increasing the output of their existing facilities in order to scale. This expansion necessitates a substantial investment, time, and meticulous planning. Manufacturers encounter difficulties in maintaining quality control and guaranteeing that all components satisfy the required standards as they increase production. The transition from small-scale to industrial production can be challenging due to inconsistencies in product quality or inefficiencies in the supply chain. Additionally, the process of increasing production frequently necessitates intricate coordination of the supply chain and logistics. Manufacturers are obligated to oversee the procurement of raw materials, the production of components, and the assembly of finished vehicles, all while ensuring that they meet quality standards and operate efficiently. These obstacles can impede manufacturers' capacity to satisfy market demand by causing delays and supply chain complications. 7. Regulatory and policy uncertainties. The supply issues that the electric vehicle industry is currently experiencing are significantly influenced by regulatory and policy uncertainties. A complex landscape for manufacturers to navigate is the result of the fact that different regions have varying regulations and incentives for EV production and sales. The availability of subsidies, tax incentives, and other support mechanisms that are essential for the development of the EV market can be influenced by changes in government policies or regulations. For instance, the demand for electric vehicles and the production strategies of manufacturers can be influenced by changes in emissions regulations or fuel economy standards. Furthermore, the supply chain may be complicated by regulatory inconsistencies that exist in various markets. Manufacturers are required to adjust their production and distribution strategies in response to changing regulatory requirements. This complexity can present supplementary obstacles in the management of the supply chain and the fulfillment of market demand. In conclusion, the electric vehicle industry is currently at a critical juncture as it is encountering substantial supply chain challenges that are obstructing its development and potential. Collectively, these factors contribute to a significant supply problem, ranging from infrastructural limitations and high production costs to critical battery component shortages and geopolitical tensions. In order to address these issues, it is necessary for industry stakeholders, such as manufacturers, suppliers, and policymakers, to collaborate in order to establish a more efficient and resilient supply chain. In order to fully realize the potential of the EV revolution, it will be imperative to address these supply challenges as the demand for electric vehicles continues to increase. The industry can progress toward a sustainable future for transportation and meet the expectations of consumers and investors by addressing the underlying causes of the supply crisis and implementing effective solutions. Let us know in the comments what you think about why the EV industry has a massive supply problem, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.